You're listening to the Luxe Life Discovered podcast, where we talk with people who are living a lifestyle that reflects their passion, because we believe everyone should be living their best life, their Luxe Life. The show is hosted by Rick Steiner with Steiner Event Group, a premier national event planning company, and co-hosted by Shannon Richmond, the Vice President of the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notifications of future episodes. The show is produced by 30A Media and is broadcast on your favorite podcast outlets, as well as YouTube, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TVs, and other major brand smart TVs.
Hello, I'm Rick Steiner with Steiner Event Group. Welcome back to Luxe Life Discovered. My co-host today is Shannon Richmond with the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce. So, hello, Shannon.
Hi, Rick. Thanks for having me back.
You're welcome. And our guest today is Russ Klinger with Reed's Jewelers at Pier Park. So, Russ, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
We have a lot to talk about with you because when I came into the store and introduced myself, we realized that we had a connection, and that was Memphis. Mm-hmm. So tell the viewers what your Memphis connection is, a little background about yourself, because you've kind of hit a few spaces along the way.
Bounced around a little bit. Came out of Northern California, ended up working as a young man in Reno, Nevada, and an opportunity came to move to Memphis, Tennessee, and moved to Memphis. Spent several years bouncing around several different careers. Ended up in the diamond and gold business simply because it provided an opportunity to help people, to assist with something that was really lifelong. Had done insurance before, had done other businesses. Entered into the diamond business simply because every time we do our job, every time we handle a moment, it's a life moment for our clients. And that's what it's all about. And, you know, when you move into careers, you move into things that you want to do, you want to look for something that is redeeming. When I came with Reed's, I found my moral compass being in the right direction, in the right place.
That's
great.
What,
that made it easy.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So you've been here since you came during the pandemic we were talking about, right?
Well, down to Panama City Beach. Now, I ran a store with Reed's in Mary Astor prior to that. So we came down in 2018, my wife and I, and lived in Navarre for a year. Worked at the Mary Astor store, and Reed's Mary Astor at Santa Rosa Mall. And this opportunity came available down here during COVID because the previous manager chose not to come back. So came over.
That's a problem.
Yeah, well, it's a
problem and a blessing.
Yeah. And an opportunity because this mall, this store, this market down here is just absolutely amazing.
All right, let me ask you this too: being in a tourist area, how has that been a challenge for you as now the manager of a local jewelry company that we have so many people in and out?
Absolutely.
How does that affect everything?
It's uniquely different. In a typical market, we focus that market on the peak holidays of Christmas, Valentine's, Mother's Day. And then the down season in any other market is going to be that summertime. Well, here in Pier Park in Panama City, once we get through with Mother's Day, we have a couple of weeks, but we're still right at that time dealing with and working with spring break. And spring break brings that pre-summer crowd, albeit a lot of gold chains.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
A lot of young men, yeah. But also during the summer, it sets us up and prepares us for a completely different clientele that is transient. They come in, they're here for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, and they go on home. So we have a wide range of products that are able to suffice because we do diamonds, we do bridal, we do a very large business in that, but we also do a lot of fashion jewelry, and we have some peak brands that are amazing. We have Doves by Duran Paloma, we have Shy Creation, we have Roberta Coin, which are 18 and 14 karat gold, yellow gold, white gold items that are just absolutely amazing. And many of our items are beach themed. And have that vibe that we have here on Panama City Beach.
Which is perfect for someone visiting that loves the beach, they
Absolutely.
can take that as a memento back. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So do
Without-
you guys custom design jewelry as well?
We do. We do. We have, in fact, of my staff, 5 members of my staff right now are diamond designers that we can take everything from a napkin picture to a photograph and
Wow.
rebuild and design anything our clients like.
What would be the most challenging, do you think? Is there like a piece that stands out that was like the most challenging to bring to life?
Not really. The most challenging part of it would be time.
Okay.
Because
Makes sense.
everybody has an agenda. Everybody has a
Yeah.
timeline. One of the initial questions is, what time frame do we have? When is your date? Do you have your date?
Yes,
Like I want
sure.
this exquisite
Right.
thing tomorrow.
And the challenge there is on a simple detail, a week, 2 weeks, is absolutely within reason. If it's an elaborate design that requires some CAD design and a lot of diamonds to be placed, that could take as much as 6 to 8, maybe even 12 weeks. And
Wow.
that's a challenge. So timing is a challenge, and especially if we have that transient business coming in and out.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a story you might not know about
Okay.
Reed's. So I'm on a board for a nonprofit, Beach Care Services, and we went to Reed's and we said, we would like to find something that we can auction off to raise some money for the charity. And they're like, let me think about it. They called me back the next day. What if we custom design a piece? And I said, really? And I think that's before you guys were really doing a lot of custom things. And
Right.
they came up with a beautiful dolphin with a birthstone in there. And it was so popular. I don't know if you guys still carry it, but you were carrying it in your store after that event.
They did. They had a couple pieces made, but I've seen that piece. That's,
Yeah, it
that's
was
an amazing
gorgeous.
piece. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that
So
has to make you feel good when you hear that something you guys created, a custom piece, and meant so much to the organization and to the people.
Oh, without a
as well.
doubt.
Yeah.
And the impact that it has, especially with the receiver of it.
we raised a ton of money with that piece. When we
That's
told them
neat,
that we
yeah.
got it from Reed's and then you had it on display at your store, people were going in. And then I was told that you guys had to make several others because the people that didn't win wanted it.
That's always a good result.
Yeah.
And we've had that happen a couple times. We did a little black dress event a couple years back, and we had an
Okay.
amazing little piece that was sent up for them also.
That's so nice that you guys did that. I mean, here you go to the charity and let the
That's-
charity raise a lot of money.
And that's most recently we have a Warriors retreat that we donate items for, and then there was a event at Blue Heron that generated some interest. We had a gift bag that was produced with that, not necessarily a custom item, but we do a lot of giveaways in our market just to let folks know that jewelry is one thing, but it's a participation in the community.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, of course, this will air after the bridal show, but you guys are giving away the groom's grand prize for the
Oh,
SEG bridal
Yes.
show Sunday.
is it a
But
secret?
now it's a Bulova watch and it's gorgeous.
It's a beautiful watch. It's a beautiful Bulova automatic, 22 jewels. And Bulova, the history with Bulova is amazing, but they have been a quartz manufacturer for some years and kind of stayed away from that automatic line, although that's part of their origination and they've had that history. This piece and the line that they've come out with their automatic watches is just absolutely amazing.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
What kind of watch are you wearing?
I have a Breitling Super Ocean.
Oh, it's beautiful. Don't show my husband.
Right.
He does need to come in and say,
Well, that so we were talking before we went on the air, a difference between like a jeweler and you taught me something I didn't know. You have the jewelers in house that sell, the jewelers that create, and then there are jewelers that do like custom pieces and
correct.
do everything. So explain that a little bit because I'm sure most people.
And
I think
typically,
when they walk in, they can just
right.
Yeah.
So we have in retail sales, in our retail business, we have a couple of positions that are available that service our clients. One of the positions, obviously, is the person who greets you when you come into the store. That's the sales professional. That is a jeweler. They are a diamond professional. They're a watch professional.
So they have the
merchandise.
background to know.
They
what
have a
yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
The background to know what needs to be done, how to size your ring, not physically how to do the sizing, but how to size it, how to measure it properly, how to inspect it to make sure that there's no stones that are loose, or if a loose stone does come out, how to instigate the process to get it serviced and get it fixed. Then there's another position that is an independent jeweler, or a jeweler that actually works underneath the scope with the torch and the equipment and fixes those and sizes those. So those are, and that's it's a big misconception, but they sometimes are one and the same. So many people and individuals that own their own stores started out as a jeweler and have designed their own merchandise and produced it there. Our family jeweler, which is the owners of Reed's, William Zimmer family, and Alan Zimmer, who owns the company right now, they started out with product that they produced themselves.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
cool.
Yeah.
and we still have several pieces of the Roberta Z line in our store that
Oh,
that
really?
we feature right there at the very front. They're absolutely stunning pieces.
So even though how many stores do Reed's have? Is
That's-
that
That's a great question. The count varies depending, because we are opening. We've opened recently in Ocala, and we have another store in Brandon, Florida. We own several Pandora stores.
Okay.
The Pandora in Destin we own
Wow.
as a company. We have opened as partnership with Tag Heuer a couple of boutique stores, Tag Heuer boutique stores. So that number is going to
Interesting.
vary between 80 plus to 87, depending on what store's been completed and the status of it. And
Wow.
we're opening more. We just opened a store in Valdosta, Georgia.
Wow.
so? Okay, that's interesting. 'Cause I didn't know about all the. I was thinking maybe a dozen, but I had no idea
Oh,
it was
no.
that many. So yeah.
So
that's-
here's what a lot of folks don't know. 76 plus years. 1947 is when we started. Out of Wilmington, North Carolina, and the process that we do with our stores is trying to have something that is able to service most of the communities. But the communities that we have are East Coast, down here in Florida, across the Panhandle. We have stores in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee. Have a store in Kentucky. And as of right now, as I understand it still, that we are the country's largest family-owned jeweler.
Well,
Okay,
I've been
that's what
tooting
I'm-
that horn all day
Yeah, I was
long.
going to say it is a family owned, so that's why
It
I
is
was
family
thinking.
owned.
When you think that, you think,
A couple stores.
yeah, you don't think about it as being
Right.
as
Right.
large as it is. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And so we have the capability to service most anything that any client that walks in our doors, we have that capability to service most anything that comes in.
That's interesting. So you can create it, and then you have the designers that can bring that creation to life.
Absolutely. A neat little story. I had a client call me from Arizona, and she had seen a ring, and she wanted this designed, and I got out a pen and a little actually it was a napkin, and I drew it on the napkin and took it to my jeweler, and we worked together for a couple of weeks to get a CAD design and a digital image of it, and that's the process. We do a digital image, get the approval from the customer, and that then goes into a wax mold, and that wax mold is then cast. We get to pick and choose the diamonds, the size of the diamonds, the placement of the diamonds, the quality of the
How
diamonds.
cool is that?
It is, and it's to see that process from its infancy, from the imagination to its conception to finished product is so rewarding, knowing full well that ring is going to be worn and handled by that client for the rest of her life.
And do you know what I like about that? How you pick the diamonds and the quality. So if somebody didn't have this high-end budget, but that's what they wanted,
That is correct.
you're still able to make that for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're able to put it, and sometimes the imagination says, let's have it big.
Yeah.
But not necessarily is her hand going to
Right.
match that size.
Right.
So we're able to scale it down and fit and match the item to the individual.
But when
to
you like
match.
to make your finger bigger, sometime to match what's in your mind.
I know.
Like,
So,
please.
So and that is the thing. I had a client one time. He came in and he was a Mississippi Highway patrolman. And he came into my store, and he wanted the most beautiful, biggest diamond that he could find. And he bought his wife this 1 carat round diamond ring. And she came in to have it sized, pulled me along to the side, and she goes, "Can you help me convince him to get something else? This diamond is bigger than anything my grandmother has ever owned." And I'm embarrassed to wear it around the family. And we did. We found, and she was just a little itty bitty thing. She was,
Wow.
and we found a nice ring. He was in agreement. We found a nice ring that matched who she was and what her personality.
That's great.
And that's the reward that you get. It's and one thing I tell all my clients and everybody that comes into our store, when we develop a client, we are their jeweler for life. It's a lifetime of a relationship, and it's a relationship not just with her, but her family, her friends, her kids.
That's a true
and
story.
we've had those family members come back years and years and years after.
Well, that's important too, because when you're making, it's an investment.
Yes.
Right.
And so you want somebody that, is reliable, that's trustworthy, that will be there.
Absolutely.
And not, be there for one season and
Right.
then they're gone.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Steve, like I was telling you, my husband just went into the store in Panama City Beach in Pier Park, and he walked in, and they're like, "Hey, Steve, how's Shannon doing?" He hasn't been in there in a year,
Yes.
and they still remembered who he was and what I like.
Yeah. That was
That's the
Amber.
most important thing.
That's the but they still remembered him. They still remembered me, and they still
Right.
remembered kind of what I was looking at the time.
Absolutely. That's
Isn't that so nice? That just
It is.
was warm and fuzzy.
and isn't that what it's all about?
Absolutely.
Don't when you go in to do business, isn't it about knowing somebody and
Yeah.
having that the warm and fuzzy, or the warmth, that
Definitely.
ability to say I'm comfortable now.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to do. We try to have everybody that walks into our store be as absolutely comfortable as possible.
Yeah. It
Well,
was
if you
awesome.
think about it, every aspect of your life that you deal with, every business, it's with those that, appreciate your business and that you have that relationship established. Because if they're rude to you, if they don't have time to deal with you, you're not going to go back to them.
Without a
That's my
doubt.
thing. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So let me ask you a big question, because my wife had seen a commercial recently, or heard one on the radio, but it was talking about whether you wanted your lab diamond or a real diamond.
A what?
A lab diamond. And
Mhm.
she's like, all right, explain that to me. I'm like, I don't know, but after
But we'll talk
Friday,
about
I can't. Yes. After Friday, I'll be able to do so.
There you go.
What is that? What explain the difference?
So as we all know, a natural diamond is mined out of the ground. They dig a hole, they find where the diamond is at, they bring the diamond out, and as it comes out, it looks like a piece of glass that's maybe just worn down, that's been on the beach for a number of years. And then they figure out what that diamond's supposed to look like, and they map it out and then cut it. That's how a natural diamond comes up. But they have to mine it, they have to find it. So there's a lot of resources and energy that's expended to pull that diamond out of the earth. When we're dealing with lab grown, and the key there is lab grown, not lab created.
Okay.
Lab grown, laboratory grown diamonds are seeded from a natural diamond, and then having the chemical composition, the pressure and the heat replicated, and they grow it. Much like in vitro fertilization for a child, you have that for a diamond.
I know. It's like our mind is being blown.
I know it is, and you end up with a
These
very
are the women smoking the cigars.
That's the newest and latest and greatest.
But and there are theories. There's a concept that and understand, to get a 1 carat good looking diamond takes 10 carats of rough diamond that may have some gray
I
or
was gonna
black.
ask you that. Yeah.
So you have to take this huge rock and get this little bitty piece. So when you start looking at diamonds that are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carats, they're
Oh my
very,
gosh.
very rare. And exponentially, there's marks in the diamond. So exponentially, that mark in the diamond, if the diamond is larger, that mark has a tendency to be larger also. So as the diamond gets larger, that mark has to be smaller. Therefore, the value and the rarity of that diamond increases exponentially. So when you're dealing with laboratory grown, we have the ability to pick and choose. We have the ability
make it perfect.
And well, nothing's going to be perfect because it's still part of God's creation. It's still part of the creation. There is an environment that has been developed that is enhancing the ability for that diamond to grow on its own. You still have
I know,
marks.
it's-
Look,
I
keep
know.
going.
I never thought about
but understand that the
diamonds growing, but it makes sense.
Well,
Yeah,
it,
it just
much
never-
the crystalline structure.
Yeah,
So
sure.
everything has at the atomic level has a crystalline structure. So as it grows as a crystal, and it's in the environment, you understand they're using photon lasers right out of Star Trek. Photon lasers. They're using a lot of heat. They're using the chemical compositions that make up a diamond, and then they grow it out of that. But it still takes a large amount of rough to cut a quality center diamond. It's just now all this is done with technology and lasers, and they're able to cut them. And yes, they do cut them perfectly, but they're not always perfect. We
Right.
have some flaws. We may have some color in them. So laboratory grown diamonds are treated just like a natural diamond. They have a grading report. They have the 4 C's, as you might say. Yeah.
So, okay, if you're cutting, like to get that center stone, what happens to the excess that's cut away?
That's a great question. So depending on where the diamond comes from or where the source diamond is, the quality of the excess, if it's good quality, can go into other jewelry. It can go into fashion
Like the
jewelry.
little chips
Yeah.
things?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've seen or heard of black diamonds,
Yeah.
gray diamonds, brown diamonds. Those for years and years used to be pushed off to the side.
Right now, they're
Now there's a process. You can irradiate them and hit them with a bolt of radiation and have whatever color is sourced in it come out.
seriously.
Seriously.
I have black diamonds.
That's an interesting.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm wanting to do a concept shoot for my event company, and I want a black or a brown wedding dress.
Ah.
So this is kind of making me think in jewelry.
Black
Do
diamonds.
something
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Heck
So
yeah.
yeah.
Can do.
Yeah. We may have to partner on that.
More than happy to. We can customize anything
All
for you.
right, great. Well, that's interesting because I never knew about that part. So when she asked me, I figured it was something grown in a lab, but
Really? You thought
Well,
that far?
well, I just thought
I
if
mean-
they say lab grown, you assume your mind
But I
thinks
would
that,
never
but I
thought
would
a
have never
diamond
thought
grew.
about how. Well, me either. So I didn't know how they did it. So it was
And what's
totally-
interesting is that its DNA is that of a diamond. It will test as a diamond. They're amazing. They're absolutely amazing.
Wow.
So where do companies do this? Like,
that was my next question.
yeah,
There are several companies that do it, and they're all over. They're in the States. They're in Europe. There's different locations, various.
So do you
Interesting.
stop the growth when you get the size you need, or do you let it keep growing, or do you, when you start to grow it, you know what it's going to be?
You know what it's going to be. It's going to have a
Okay.
pattern of growth over that period of time that it's going to
Okay.
grow, and then whatever the process is of pulling that out. Again, it's a rough diamond. It's diamond quality, but it's rough, and they still have to go in and map it and cut it and meticulously get it down to what it's supposed to be.
So if you're wanting a carat, for example, a carat diamond, how long does it take to grow that?
Generally, there's a natural diamond is as we see it, about 500 million years for a natural diamond. For a lab-grown diamond, could be anywhere from 18 weeks plus.
Seriously, that quick.
That window is very short.
Wow.
18 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
So price-wise,
Um,
are they?
again, when you're looking at a diamond, it's all about the quality. It's
Right.
all about the color, about the clarity, about
So it really
how it's
doesn't make
cut.
a difference how long it took. You're looking at the overall the quality.
You're still looking at a quality,
Yeah,
and
okay.
the quality, and you should, when you look at a diamond, you should look at it like you're looking at a glass of water. If you feel that you can drink that glass of water and you're thirsty enough, you're going to drink that water. If it's got stuff in it, you may not want to drink the water.
Yeah.
If it looks like it's been stirred with a mayonnaise spoon, stay away. Same goes with the diamond.
Right.
So looking at the quality of the diamond, it's all about what that quality is and what the process was to get it to market. So in general, if you're looking carat for carat and all of the attributes being equal, it's about 25 to 30% less in price.
Okay.
Um,
But don't go in asking for a lab-grown diamond and then want a discount because it took much less time. The point. Yeah.
at least with our store, with our company, we've priced them very, very competitively.
How have the sales been?
Amazing on
Okay.
both. And we have
Do you ever switch people from the old school diamond to the lab diamond?
never.
Do they come in knowing they want that lab grown diamond?
Sometimes. So it's a fine line. We are allowed to call it a diamond, but as Reed's Jewelers, we choose to make sure that our clients have our full exposure. I have my natural diamonds and my processes with our sales and our natural diamonds, and then we have our laboratory grown diamonds and our processes with that. We identify to our customers both very clearly what we're looking at and how we're looking at them. The last thing you want to do when you're looking at that process is to have somebody that's confused.
Yeah.
Like the look that we had on our face when we first started talking
Could
about
very well be.
So does anyone turned off initially when you say lab grown and try to explain it to them? Do they think it's lesser quality?
The first lab-grown diamond that I sold to the new facility manager, general manager of a Toyota plant in Mississippi.
Okay.
And she walked in and I showed her these diamonds, explained the two differences. She said, stop right there. She said that I've just converted the entire plant over to green. Fully green facility.
I know
So, that's great.
And she said, you can stop with everything. But I've had clients come in and say, absolutely not. I've had a client that wanted more than what the budget could handle in a natural diamond, and she was able to manage the budget within a laboratory
That's
grown.
a great alternative.
It is. It is.
If they want
Because no one's going to.
it's still tested as a diamond.
Outside.
It does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not going to know.
Only a jeweler, and when we look at it at 40 times magnification or 10 times magnification, and we're able to identify the differences. But each diamond is laser engraved. It says it right on the side of the diamond exactly what it is.
That's just amazing. So,
Yeah.
see,
Full disclosure is very
yeah,
important.
it is.
Yeah, it is.
Well, and plus you'll get that return business too, because if you not up front, they find out in their mind they're going to think he didn't tell us.
He
before."
Jimmy Jack.
Yeah. Never.
That's awesome.
No. It's
Well, good.
all about the honesty of it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's been great having you today because
We could still talk longer,
I
but
know
I
that's
think
true.
we can.
Yeah, but there are so many different aspects of this that you could
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. We
go
can
down
talk
so
all,
many different rabbit holes here, but I do.
and that's what we
appreciate-
do every day.
That's true. Yeah. But I do appreciate you being on and talking with us today. And make sure you go to Reed's Jewelers in Pier Park, and they have a great team that can assist you with anything you need. So, Russ, if you will, just look at the camera up at the top and then tell them where you're located and anything you want to say about your company. And
Okay, well, we're Reed's Jewelers. We're at Pier Park, 15601 Suite 110, Starfish Street, Panama City. The easiest way to get there is to understand that we're right in between Target and Dillard's across
That's
the
what I
street
was just
from
thinking.
Victoria's Secret.
key markers there.
That's right. But we'll treat everybody absolutely amazingly when they walk in.
Shannon, anything before
No,
we
I
go?
know where I'm sending Steve, but not for the watch. For me.
Yes.
He's already been there.
Well, good deal. Well, thank you for joining us again for another episode of Luxe Life Discovered, and we will see you soon.
Check out Lux Life Discovered on Facebook and Instagram and on 30a.tv. See you next time on Lux Life Discovered.